it. His shot, no good. Put back up and in by Trayvon Scott. Cincinnati by 1. Rose from half court. His shot is no good. The snap, the put down, the swing of the leg. It is on its way. It is good. Cincinnati wins the American Championship.
Here comes Bushett. Here comes the quarterback, Burrow. Looking for a block, and he got it up in the front by Hopkins into the end zone. Touchdown! What a skipper! Called his own number and streaks for 23 for a touchdown for Cincinnati.
Welcome back. I hate that intro. The clips are fantastic. The clips are fantastic.
I feel like Aaron doesn't like it because he doesn't know it, so he can't mouth it while it's going on.
There's certainly some recency bias. Welcome back, Pardon the Punctuation. I'm Aaron. We got Ed and Jeff. We do want to say thank you for another year of listening to us. As it is that time of year again to hop on to citybeat.com. The link is on the bottom if you're watching us on YouTube. But every year City Beat does a vote for the best of the city. And we are 2 years running in third, right? Third place. Running strong.
Third best.
2 years in a row. So it's www.citybeat.com/best-of-2021-readers-choice-poll #//. You can also find that link on our Twitter page at PTP Podcast Cincy. I'm sure you can find it on the Facebook page as well, Pardon the Punctuation. And we might even try and blast it out a little bit on Bearcat Nation, on the Facebook group Bearcat Nation. Other than that, gentlemen, I think that's all the this. Oh, one more thing. We are sponsored by some type of partnership. I'm not really sure.
Boss Man Brands,
Beard Jelly. Ed, you use it. I think the beard's looking a little smaller this time around.
Well, I did have to cut the dead ends off because it was definitely getting a little. It's winter time, and you got to cut the dead ends off of your hair and whatnot, and actually really brought out the gray. It almost looks like there's nothing there, but that's just gray. That's just gray.
I have no words for any
the
of that.
dead ends.
No words.
Well, yeah, like when you get split ends.
Get your Beard Jelly, Boss Man Brands. Ed, what's the promo code?
Promo code ED15 at checkout.
50% off, correct?
That's correct. Yes, sir.
All right. Now that that's out of the way, biggest story of the week in Cincinnati sports was, I don't even know that it's necessarily 100% confirmed yet, but has been put out there as what is supposed to happen, and that is the hiring of Mike Tressel.
Love it.
The new hire defensive coordinator for your Cincinnati Bearcats football team. Gentlemen, what are your thoughts initially of the hiring of Mike Tressel, who comes to us from Michigan State, where he was under D'Antonio before they changed regimes last year, where Fickell was rumored to be going until he politely turned them down and remained here as the Bearcats head coach?
I mean, I like it. He's, he and Fickell are familiar with each other, and I trust in Fick. So if he says that that's the right hire to make, then I'm good with it. I mean,
did coach together at Ohio State, correct? Under his uncle, Jim Tressel.
I know that guy.
Like personally? No, you don't.
No, not really.
I mean, you got to think that it kind of extends some recruiting territory up into Michigan a little bit, Northern Ohio a little bit more.
Ohio, certainly, as he had been a thorn in everyone's side, recruiting in the Northern Ohio area with Michigan State.
I did read that there were several high school coaches who said that they are pretty familiar with him. Local high school coaches that said that they were pretty familiar with him that he ventured down this far. I mean, he does have a little bit of background down in Cincinnati as a coach as well. So
Correct. And if you go listen to my other podcast, which is the Bearcat Bounce podcast on Bearcat Journal, you can actually hear the full story of how that all went down between Mike Tressel and his leaving the Cincinnati Bearcats, which did ruffle some feathers with some of the older Bearcats fans as he when he left with Antonio back in 2006. Apparently, there was some celebrating in the hallways that people just didn't really take the right way. Did you guys hear that story? Ed, I know you listened to it, right?
Yeah, I listened to it last night. Like, can we get over it? It was how many years ago? 10 years ago? 15 years ago? I mean, let's just get over it. All right. We're a different school now. We got different priorities, and
the whole program's entirely night and day different from 2006. Let's be completely honest.
completely.
well, I mean, you got to think like when he was here that the last time, if it ends up getting confirmed, which I think it's pretty well confirmed that he's coming down here, but I mean that was kind of like the infancy and beginning of the climb for UC into relevancy in college football, and he had a chance to jump into a bigger and better role alongside the coach that he came up with here. I don't think you can't fault anybody for that.
I completely agree. No, I mean, essentially, I know they didn't have the Power Five back then, as we were corrected on Twitter. Thanks, Joey. But yeah, it was when we still were in the Big East, back when the Big East still was a football conference, oddly enough. But yeah, I mean, you had the essentially a top six, and then everybody else, and we were still part of that at that point in time before they did kind of merge into this Power Five. But yeah, Michigan State has certainly been a larger program than Cincinnati for the better part of all of our lives. I would say that the roles have kind of shifted quite a bit in the last couple of years as Michigan State's had certainly some issues, and the top of the Big Ten is definitely a little different than the bottom of the Big Ten, although Big Ten money is still better than American Athletic Conference money. So at the end of the day, I mean, they have the means to better their program a little bit easier than Cincinnati would. So I don't know. It's certainly an interesting hire in the sense that it looked like he had already hit his peak with Michigan State and was kind of on his way down, although the new regime did keep him around as they got rid of a lot of other staff. So it's a little convenient for both sides that we were looking for a defensive coordinator. Fickle has that familiarity with him. He was kind of on a downtrend there at Michigan State. So
he was what, a positions coach up there? Like they kind of.
So I looked this up. I did want to talk about this. He started as a linebacker special teams coach from 2007 to 2014. 15 to 17, he was a co-defensive coordinator and a linebackers coach. 18 to 19, he was the defensive coordinator and the linebackers coach. And then with the new regime that came in 2020, he just was the safeties coach. So now he's back into that defensive coordinator role, back at the helm for a defense. And let's be honest, Luke Fickell is going to have his handprints all over this defense. It's not going to be entire. I mean, you do have to consider that Tressel's defense is a 4-3 traditionally. So it's going to be certainly some learning for him because I can't imagine they go completely away from the 4-3-5 that they ran. I'm sorry, the 4-2-5 that they ran most of this season, and just completely shift it to a 4-3 with the personnel they've recruited specifically for the defense that Marcus Freeman was running. So I'd be shocked if you saw a complete transition. That said, I think you're going to see some twists and turns now that we have Tressel there. And I think you're probably going to see a little bit of some of that 4-3 peppered in with the defense that we had been running. But I think it's still going to be ultimately Luke Fickell's call, as it's been, regardless of Freeman being here or, Tressel being here.
And it's like, I mean, you kind of bring that up. Somebody on Twitter brought up, I don't know much about him, Mike Tressel, or I don't know much about him at all. But if Luckell, wow, that's
Luckell.
Luke and Fickle put together, Luckell. So if Luckell thinks that he's a good hire, then I mean, Luckell hasn't made any bad decisions lately that I know of. So I'm going to let Luckell make that decision. And I think that's the name of this episode now.
Ever refer to him as Luckell?
That's what I'm calling him from now on, Luckell.
No. Oh no.
On the computer.
I don't know. I mean, but it's not like necessarily like the I don't know, like the sexy pick. Like you didn't get, but
well, because Chris Ash would have been the sexy pick, but Chris Ash was gone to Urban Meyer's. Yeah,
right.
He's part of the Jacksonville Jaguars staff now. And you saw almost as soon as that happened, I think it was roughly within 24 hours later that you had rumors going out there from national talking heads, or at least national beat writers and such, that a deal was about to be moved on for Tressel. So I think that was, we were waiting on Chris Ash for that next domino to fall. So we got our number 2 guy. And Chad did kick around the idea in last night's podcast that apparently there were some whispers, at least. I don't know if there was a whole lot to it, but there were certainly some whispers to, if we didn't get the guy that Luke Fickell was looking for, and I don't know how far down on the list that went, but maybe Luke just takes over as a defensive coordinator for a year. And I think that would have been something to see. It would have been interesting.
I mean, he's a defensive-minded guy. I think he could have handled it, but
probably
couldn't be any worse than Zach Taylor running the offense for the Bengals.
Oh, good Lord. Oh, don't go there. Not now.
I'm ready to say it would have been a lot better than that, but
I can't believe we ever compared him to the actual Coach Taylor. And that's bad on us. Our bad.
So I think we can all say that we're cautiously optimistic about the hire at the very least.
Yeah. I mean, I'll let it work out. I mean, yeah.
Anything else to say about the story from 2006?
Water under the bridge.
I
don't think it's even worthy of being called a story.
Do you think he deserves to offer an apology?
No.
As part of his
no
press conference coming in?
No. Absolutely not.
I think that it might come up.
I think that it's stupid. I'm here to tell you right now that if, for whatever reason, Luke Fickell left here and gutted the entire staff, and Brian Kelly left Notre Dame and came back, I wouldn't even expect him to give an apology.
No,
that's how little I care about people that make decisions for the betterment of themselves in their career.
So let's take a school that isn't very close, but a school that Luke's name's been connected with for entirely too long, only because Mike Boone went there. But say Luke and his whole staff left and went to USC with the Trojans, and you had a coach running around in the hallways celebrating the fact that he was moving into the Pac-12, going to SoCal, excited about that move, and just jubilant about the fact that he was going with Coach Luke Fickell to SoCal. You'd have no issue with any of that as far as that's how he left.
No.
I wouldn't have.
I mean, if you're excited about like a promotion, if that's how you see it.
I don't know that USC necessarily right now is a promotion
right.
to Cincinnati, but financially perhaps.
Yeah. I mean, if you're excited about something, you know what? Like, you deserve to celebrate it. You've worked hard to get there. Like,
you do you, boo boo.
Right. Yeah. I legitimately don't care.
I mean, like, if I got upset that, back when I was a supervisor, if one of my people left and went to a different insurance company and they went out to lunch with their peers to celebrate their new position, like, why do I get upset about that? I can't get upset about that. It's ridiculous.
Like you getting upset about me, taking an internship with Bearcat Journal and being petty and putting Aaron's shameless plug at the bottom of the screen every time I talk about it. It's no big deal. Water under the bridge.
What are you talking about?
I'm just I'm just waiting for Aaron to show up on the podcast wearing a BCJ hat, and then Ed having to block out his little like.
I haven't gotten mine yet.
I would actually. that might put me over the edge. I don't know.
All right.
We love Bearcat Journal over here at PTP.
So we do need to see what happens with Mike Denbrock. It seems that people still want him out of here for whatever reason. I'm not sure what's going to happen there. I don't have any insider information there or anything like that. I think we're going to end up seeing Mike Denbrock around for another season, personally. But
yeah, has Vanderbilt filled that spot?
I feel like I thought I saw they did.
I thought they offered it to somebody and they turned it down, but
I thought they did too.
Perhaps. But we do have the running backs vacancy that Jeff thought he had the hottest take on, which he did.
It wasn't the hottest take.
I had to tone him down there.
It was not, because I'm pretty sure that numerous of those people that, because I never even heard, like, to be honest, I never even heard of that guy until I think it was flooded all over Twitter, and I picked it up and said that it was an interesting take because I'd never even heard of him.
Mike Daniels does have a ton of connects throughout the city. It would still make sense. So we'll see. I wish I had more for you, but
I mean, obviously,
as of right now, he's the only name that I know is currently being tied to that position. So we'll see what happens with all of that. Luke Fickell is on vacation right now, so
that's probably why the Mike Tressel thing hasn't been officially announced.
He's probably waiting to be there with him, socially distance, of course, but
right.
There to have that conversation, signed together or whatever. I don't know how the contracts actually go down, but
do we know?
Maybe they're waiting for the university to post the position online and have it be put out there as state schools are required to do. Just to dot I's and cross T's. Who knows?
I mean, but the running backs coach, not that it's an unimportant position, but it
could be another recruiting tool at the very least.
Oh yeah,
and certainly a good recruiting tool to have if you have. I mean, honestly, looking forward after Jerome Ford, I'm not sold on anybody on the current roster as I've seen to step into a role where you have a Michael Warren, where you have a Jared Dokes, where you have a Jerome Ford. After Jerome Ford, I think the cupboard's kind of bare. I mean, McClellan's shined a little bit in certain spots, and Montgomery. We haven't really seen enough of Montgomery to have a huge opinion on Montgomery, but yeah, we'll see what happens. So
it's really exciting.
So Bearcats basketball has been
on a hot streak.
They are. Did somebody
haven't lost a game since the last time we talked?
Right now is winning.
I correct me if I'm wrong. Have they lost the game in January? Did they lose it? Okay.
They lost the first game of the season. So it would have been it was Sunday. It was a Sunday after New Year's, I think.
Not the first game of the season, which is what you said. But
sorry, first game of 2021.
In any case, we haven't lost in 2 weeks. There's something to be said for that.
We're not going to lose in 3 weeks, by the way.
There is that.
Yeah, then there's not a lot of information out there about obviously it's COVID related.
I saw Chad posted today that they were on track to play before the announcement came out this morning. So up until last night, they were on track to play. That all said, I have no idea if they've even practiced.
No clue.
It's a little concerning.
I mean, it's similar to I don't know. Did you see Baylor's women's head coach Kim Mulkey? Baylor didn't practice him forever. They and the first time that they were able to practice was the day of their game against Iowa State, and then they lost, and she went off the deep end in the presser afterwards about the NCAA only caring about making a dollar, and
and we've seen
which I think we can all agree with.
Well, sure, but we've also seen similar rants by successful program heads such as Coach Calipari of Kentucky, who their season has been a complete dumpster fire in more than just the loss column.
I saw a statistic that the most recent top 25 in men's college basketball is like the first time since like 1968. I want to say that it might have been 63. An 8 and a 3 kind of look the same.
I get it.
But that North Carolina, Duke, and Kentucky all were outside the top 25.
And we've seen similar comments come out from Coach K at Duke.
Yeah.
Who's coaching at North Carolina right now? I don't even know. Nobody who's putting out any comments publicly. Is it still the dude from what is it, Kansas? That last coach of Kansas? Can't hear you, Ed.
Roy Williams.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so that's a good question, but so we can only assume that last week not being able to play was a UC thing. Is this one a UC thing, or is this who were they supposed to play? Tulane or whatever?
It's a UC thing.
Temple. It's a UC thing again?
Yeah, I think that'll I from everything I've read, I think that's why. I don't have anything concrete or anything from any sources saying no, it's 100% UC, but it was UC at least in the last couple of weeks. So I would think that it would still be Cincinnati that's struggling with that. And we've seen similar things. If you guys remember in the football season, Houston, I think missed like 5 straight games as they were trying to just play a game after their first game. I think they only got like 1 game in, and then I think they were off for like the next 5 games that'd be either canceled or postponed and rescheduled. So it's not that we haven't seen this in some programs. So it's not completely unprecedented. And it goes back to what you guys were talking about, where maybe we are less worried about the players than we are worried about the dollars. And in this particular scenario, you had a game that was supposed to be on CBS and is now going to be not on national television, at least in this particular time slot. I don't know if they're able to work it out to where this game's back on CBS. Personally, I'm okay if this season we're not on national television at all, but I digress.
And I did purchase the ESPN Plus, so I might as well just keep watching on there.
So one of the questions we talked about last night, and I'm kind of curious to see your guys' take on it. Once basketball is back, what are you guys excited to see about this team moving forward the rest of the season?
Well, I think right before we went on this nice little hiatus, like those players, Davenport, Eason, Harvey, they were all starting to mesh together. It was starting to look like they all knew their roles and where they were to be on the court. It was starting to look like a resemblance of a basketball team. And now with the 2-week hiatus, then did that digress? Is that the word I'm looking for? I don't know. But did that,
regress?
Regress. Did that regress? And now we're going to look like we did, 4 weeks ago.
I just want to see progress, and I feel like Ed said, I think that they were making some progress.
It was
obviously
certainly moved in the right direction, especially when you saw like 9 straight minutes out of Chris Vogt that actually looked good.
Yeah,
for the first time maybe this whole season.
The dude is 12 foot tall. He is a mountain of a man, and like start moving these other guys. Like you can move people around, and he did at the end of that. I mean, he was moving people around. He was fighting for rebounds. He was going back up strong with putbacks.
He's a running skyscraper.
Who is this guy? And he's not the same guy that looks like a scared little kid for the first every game up until then.
This season, I feel like he's looked like the Chris Vogt I thought he was going to look like last year. And he didn't look like that last year. He looked strong. He didn't look scared going back up with anything. and he loved to do the flex. I miss the flex, oddly enough, because at least that goofy ass flex that he does, he had a reason to do it. He didn't ever just do it like for no reason. He wasn't the guy like coming down the court and slapping the floor just to slap the floor and pretend that you can play defense and then get your ankle broken and be left back at the 3-point line. Like we've all seen that happen. But no, when he did the stupid goofy ass flex that he does, it was always warranted at least. And I actually missed that.
I wonder if this has anything to do with like his regression. I wonder if this has anything to do with the strength coach leaving. Because I mean, we haven't heard that he's been replaced, and we all know because he would share that information on Instagram, Twitter, all that kind of stuff. Like he had a hell of a program put in there to make them. I mean, what do you call it? The Monster Factory, right? So
Yeah.
he's building these guys up to make them think and know that they're monsters. And
Elise, Jesse.
I don't think it was her.
She should have talked him out of it.
Yeah, she
Staying
should
in Cincinnati.
What if we get her on the show? Anyways,
Especially as a beat writer for Sports Illustrated for the Bengals, she could have been here.
I just wonder if that has anything to do with it. Like, I don't know, maybe.
Like a mentality thing?
Like a mentality thing, yeah.
Or
Well,
physically, like not having the actual muscle because dude was putting you through
A different program.
some type of huge workout.
I once tweeted him and asked him if he'd be my trainer. He didn't respond.
Not best friends.
He didn't even like your tweet.
I think he liked it, but we weren't best. I don't think it was best friend status sort of thing.
He didn't mean to hit that hard.
He didn't mean to. It's like, look at this idiot.
He was scrolling.
Jesse, check this out. This guy thinks, oh man, I hit the heart button. My bad.
Well, her name's Elise.
Oh yeah, Elise. Sorry, I'm drinking a beer.
Anyway,
Do we even have a strength coach right now though? Because they never announced a replacement.
did they take your application?
Mm.
Did Indeed send you back, or ZipRecruiter? Did any of those? Did they send you back your application has been viewed?
No.
Not a
didn't apply.
LinkedIn. Not a LinkedIn. Like your profile has been checked out.
I can always get excited when that happens. I'm like, oh, who's checking out my profile? I always want to send a message like, do you want to know anything else?
It's me. I'm sorry. Stop
It tells me
looking.
who it is. Unless you're a premium user.
Or if you are in hidden mode.
Excuse
I
me?
don't know anything about LinkedIn.
That's the thing.
Just check it out. It's pretty cool.
Of course you don't.
I don't know. And then, what's Houston's coach's name? As soon as you say it, I don't remember.
I know.
Anyways, yeah, Houston's coach tweeted today that it looks like, or he said to a reporter today, and the reporter tweeted that it looks like they're not going to play on Saturday either.
Which is
Kelvin Sampson.
There it is.
Kelvin Sampson.
Which is why I would imagine that it was Cincinnati and not Houston.
That's fair. All right, that's a good point. I don't know. I tweeted today, are we ever going to see UC basketball again? And Chad responded that it's been 84 years. So
That's a little exaggerated, but
it's from Titanic.
yeah, I get the reference, Ed.
Thanks, Ed.
You're welcome. So,
None of us has ever used GIFs before.
is that how it's pronounced?
Yes, GIF with a hard G, not a
Gotcha.
J.
All right. Gotcha.
GIF.
The GIF.
GIF is my peanut butter. GIF is the video I just sent you that lasted 3 seconds without any sound.
My name is Jev.
Don't do that.
Oh, sorry.
Nope.
I don't know. As soon as you said GIF, that's what I thought of. So
Moving on. So I would agree with you guys. I'm also excited to see the maturation of Zach Harvey, as I felt like he was really coming into his own. I think that he has earned potentially a starting spot over Micah Adams-Woods. And I would be very interested in seeing the small lineup out there of David DeJulius, Harvey, Keith. Who am I missing?
Tari.
Tari at the
Tari.
4. Well, Tari would be at the 4, and then Davenport at the 5, or vice versa, whichever you want to do. I think they've been sliding Davenport more at the 5 than Tari at the 5, as I don't think they're trying to put Tari into learning 2 positions his freshman year. But I don't think it really matters depending on if you're running a zone or or man to man. You're just gonna
I
be
don't know.
sliding. It's
It
just
was at least exciting watching the small guy lineup.
yeah, they run.
I'll bring it
I
back.
mean, they actually run.
Man,
I mean, we talked about it last week. 25. What was it? 24, 25 points in the last.
I don't know. And Tari just seems like he's like legitimately covering the entirety of the floor. Like
There was one play in particular, and I feel like it was the last game that we watched, where he was. I think he missed a basket, and then he was the first one down at the other end of the court for
Yes.
a block. Like it was.
Yeah.
How the hell did you get down the court that fast? But he covers the floor so fast. It's absurd.
People compare him to Gary Clark, and I don't know if he's at that level yet, but I do see potential in it because Gary did the same thing, right? I mean, he got knocked to the ground once, got up and blocked the shot. Like,
I think they're completely different players.
really?
I do. I think he's a better pure shooter than Gary ever was.
Well, that's fair.
Although he can't make anything under the hoop at all in his inside game, unless he's throwing it through the hoop itself. His little floaters and putbacks out the glass, he struggles under the hoop. It's crazy.
don't worry, I think Ed's best friend will take care of that.
We're friends again. It's fine.
Oh my god, I love that. That's an inside joke that I don't even want to get into.
Nope.
I think a lot of people know about it. I don't think it's an inside joke anymore, but
Moving on. So is there anything else you guys want to talk about with basketball? Because it's been
No.
incredibly tough.
I certainly hope that whatever's going on with COVID isn't anything like super serious, just maybe some precautionary stuff. Which,
yeah, obviously, want to see the kids all in good health and
yep, everybody around the program. I mean, if it's precautionary and you got to give up some games, it is what it is. Like, don't it's certainly in a season like this. There's just really no reason to run the risk of
right.
Well, happy birthday to Coach John Brannon yesterday. That was a thing. Forgot about that.
Good birthday, Coach.
And then
Happy birthday.
No. Then there was also the Jaren is going to be in the bubble in Orlando playing for the Houston Rockets. I can't remember the city that it's associated with, the Vipers.
Yeah, Vipers. Yeah.
Name. And I saw he was going to be wearing number 3. I'm interested to see how that goes because all of a sudden there's a ton of openings with the Rockets in the on the NBA team as they. What happened?
Did you see? Okay, so obviously Harden comes out right. Just, I mean, we don't talk NBA too much.
Was
but
he wearing a bodysuit?
He had to have been wearing
He lost somewhere in the neighborhood of 75 pounds by traveling from one city to another. The guy was wearing a Santa Claus suit underneath his.
He had to have
uniform.
been.
I mean, it was ridiculous. That
I don't know what
he could.
Either that or black is that much more slimming, right?
I bet. Wow. I bet that he could benefit from Boss Man Brand's beard jelly.
He probably could. That's a good point.
Ever looked up his face without a beard?
I don't
It's
know.
ridiculous. Yes.
Bananas. Do that on your own free time. I don't want to get into that because it'd take me down this dark path. But all right. So we got that out of the way. Cincinnati Reds baseball. There's actually some news. And that news this week was that Luis Castillo is being traded to the New York Yankees. It was a done deal. It was going to be announced. Spanish people talking about it and translating it to the people who didn't understand Spanish. That was a beautiful thing to see, a thing of unity. And right now, God knows we need it. But it was all for naught because there was a deal that was never in place. Because I don't remember who tweeted this week, but it certainly came up on my feed. If you put the rumored trade into the there's a trade simulator somewhere on the interwebs. Go figure.
What?
Even if you included Gleyber, is that his name?
Gleyber Torres.
There it is. The shortstop that is up and coming in the Yankees organization that would make sense if we wanted to make a move for. That was only half the value for one Luis Castillo or
You gotta
Lafayette.
you gotta put their top 4 prospects in there. Like
But
it would have had to have been a massive haul.
for the
And
Reds, yeah.
you're correct. That's what I'm saying.
Why would you trade? Why would you trade a guy? And I know I talked to you guys about this already this week and via text. But why would you trade a guy who's making what $8 million this year, who still has I think 2 years of arbitration left?
To be fair, this is the most we've heard from the Reds front office all offseason, and it was to dispel rumors that they were doing anything. So
I just don't. What's happening with the Reds?
I don't know, but they need to go out. If they go out and they can sign a plus shortstop, and really, I mean, even roll with what they got. I know that it, obviously it is getting slimmer and slimmer the way that
showed flashes, right?
Yeah.
Not with the stick, but at least with his glove. So I don't know. I mean, shortstops, generally speaking, is not a spot where you have a ton of output for offensively. Generally, until you have Tatis and the guy who was just traded from Cleveland to the Mets.
Lindor.
Thank you. God, I'm blanking. I have not done any baseball research for this stuff. It's the off season for everyone here. It's fine. But yeah, I mean, you got a couple guys that stand out like that. But generally speaking, you just don't see a ton of offensive output for shortstops.
It just seems like the Reds were the only team that was actually financially affected by COVID, because other teams are just out there doing things, making moves, and we're just like sitting on our hands.
The Cubs got rid of everybody.
Well, that's true.
The Reds. I think it was Doug Gray. I saw a tweet from him, but it was like the Reds. Somebody tweeted some crazy thing about the Reds payroll being on par with the Pirates, when in fact the Pirates payroll is currently like $32.5 million, and the Reds are at 110. So it's, if you want to talk about an organization that is not on par as far as like money wise,
just not trying.
Go up there.
I used to think that Bob Castellini was going to be the guy that got us a World Series. I just don't know anymore. Like he felt the most passionate about the team, and now I just don't know what the heck's going on.
Most passionate compared to who?
Oh, Mike Brown.
I mean, they are currently favored to win the division. So that's what I'm saying. Like, go out, sign a plus shortstop, like you said you're gonna do.
Didi's still out there. A Didi would be an improvement. I know you guys, again, not good for people who are listening to the podcast, as you both make meh faces at me, and no one can hear those meh faces. But I mean, he would be an improvement over Jose Garcia, I would think.
That's fair, I guess. Yeah,
and unless you're playing the game where you wait, because
I mean, they've already played it.
Price goes down, and so maybe you're making a $7 million offer instead of a $10 million offer, or whatever the case may be. I mean, I'm just throwing numbers out there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, no one's really kicking tires on anybody. You haven't seen a ton of movement out there outside of the Lindor trade. You saw the Pirates traded maybe a piece of their future because they trade everybody anyway. Who's worth?
I mean, the Padres made a big splash there a month ago.
That was a month ago, though. Like,
yeah. No, I'm just.
Let's also talk about how we're almost. What are we? Just a little bit over a month away from spring training.
I think it's 40 days yesterday.
And Trevor hasn't even decided where he's going yet.
I don't know if Trevor's been made an offer yet, because I wonder if people are waiting to see if they can counter whatever they're going to give Trevor Bauer with people in the stands. Because who knows? Maybe things open back up when you have a new president in office. I don't know.
Who knows? But I did tweet his agent to see if she'd come on the show.
How'd that go for you?
She didn't respond.
Did she like the tweet?
And I tried to make it I was like, hey, why don't you come on the show and give us the juicy details that you don't want John Heyman to have? And no response.
I'm going to guess that she only responds or even gets notifications for people who have check marks next to their name.
Well, I mean, people that are verified have that tab that they can just click.
We're the third best in Cincinnati for 2 years running. How do we not have a check mark, by the way?
Get us verified, Ed.
I tried once.
How'd that go?
Not verified.
Gotta talk to your boy Paco.
Yeah, he moved to Texas.
Find out how to get verified.
My heart will go on.
Now we have to pay royalties. Get out of here.
Oh,
All right.
God.
Lane's
DMCA.
gonna send you cease and desist.
So the Bengals.
Bengals.
Welcome to the jungle, bitch!
Wow.
I tried. Okay.
You did. I'm not upset about any of that. I just did not see that coming.
No, it was out of left field, but it was well played, Ed.
Trying to do a little bit more producing around here.
So the Bengals, I only bring them up not because they did a whole lot here. I mean,
Because they're going to go get Deshaun Watson to be the quarterback.
no.
Oh, wait. We
have a quarterback.
RG3 was just released from the Ravens.
Joe Burrow was seen walking to the stadium from his car. That was
Talked about that last week.
Okay. So we still know that he's well on his way to a healthy rehab process. But no, the Cleveland Browns got their first playoff win.
Yeah. Good for them.
And then they got thrashed in true Cleveland form, fumbling into the end zone.
That's the worst.
Okay. Let's just talk about that play. Let's just talk about that play for a second.
First of all, it's the worst rule in football.
You got a guy diving to the end zone, and he full on gets speared in the side of the helmet with the crown over the helmet.
Yeah, that guy.
Helmet.
That guy was not trying to keep his mask up.
The only, the only reason he drops that ball is because I'm 100% positive he was knocked out cold.
He blacked out.
Like
3 seconds there, going to the ground.
Well,
he blacked out.
The only reason I bring up that game at all is simply to say I don't want to hear it from Cleveland fans anymore.
What?
That they are the most abused fan base. You got a championship with LeBron. You
Fair.
have arguably a top 5 offense in all of football. You've had a ton of first-round picks for the last decade. You screwed up some of them. You made some stellar picks with others. You're in a good spot. The Indians have made the playoffs far more recently than the Reds have. And much more often.
Yep.
I don't want to hear anymore how they are the abused fan base. If you feel bad for Cleveland people, it's because you know Cleveland is just not fun to be in as a city. I stand on that. That's my hot take.
I love that you stand on it. I really do, and I feel I had that passion with you, man. Like I'm there. I'm ready to go to the ring with you on that one. But I just wonder what your boy Sir Yacht would say about that.
Don't care. You can even put that out there as an audio clip. Write down the time. That's fine. But if you feel bad for the people of Cleveland, I'm going to repeat it again. It's because you know the city is just not good.
Also, that Sir Yacht guy doesn't even know how to eat chili, right? Like, whatever.
He drank it out of a can.
You got to put that shit on top of noodles.
While heated.
It tastes better that way too.
Or on a coney. I don't know. And they drink it out of a can. I mean, like, you make
to him. I mean, I appreciate the love.
He did
Fair.
own his tweet and drove 4 hours down to chug a can of chili.
Of the night through a snowstorm that was happening in the armpit of Ohio,
and then somehow made it 4 hours home after chugging a can of chili. Like,
there's some rest stops cleaned after that.
Baseball has been successful. Football has been successful. Basketball has been successful. I don't want to hear it from Cleveland fans anymore. You are not a tortured fan base.
No, you're not.
Tortured fan base is breaking your leg when you're supposed to win the NCAA tournament. Tortured fan base is dropping 3 while Matt Latos, who I wear lingerie for fun, that guy, is your losing pitcher.
Hey, you know what though? He
3-3.
did step up in game one out there.
I'm just saying, where'd he go after that? I'm not sure he pitched again after that.
He pile drived a guy into the pitcher's mound.
You also
Suplexed.
have the Pirates in the middle of huddles and all the shenanigans that was that entire playoff game. I'm not Pirates, the Steelers. Sorry, Steelers in the huddle. We have been. I'm sure I'm missing something. The Nevada collapse.
Stop.
So outside of that, I mean, I think I covered all our bases here. Losing
That's a good point.
Losing on a 54-yard field goal in Atlanta as the clock expires in the Peach Bowl.
You really bring the mood down, Aaron.
Yeah, I'm saying
NFL kickers.
I don't want to hear from Cleveland anymore. How they're a more tortured fan base than anybody.
That's a good point. I wonder if there's any Cleveland fans that want to come on and debate that with us.
The debate's over. The debate's over. I just brought up all the talking points.
I believe you, but I'm sure they think. Also, we don't have an NBA team, but I'm sure they think they're still like. What did they have? They had baseball, football, NBA, AFL. They don't have a soccer team, so we got a leg up on them on that one.
Do we have a soccer team?
It's called FC Cincinnati.
Oh.
Come back. We got more winning to do.
Their college team is Cleveland State, so they hop on the Columbus bandwagon for that. So,
hey, did you see Cleveland State beat Wright State in basketball on a last-second alley-oop dunk? It was your boy at John Boy did a breakdown of it. That's the only reason I know about it.
Maybe that's my alma mater finally getting some clout. Not the way they wanted to.
And then he pointed out that they played again the next day, and Wright State beat them like 89-40 or something. So it wasn't even close. But
there you go, Wright State, doing right things the right way. All of that, pun intended. You're welcome.
Wright State, wrong school.
Haven't heard that one before.
Go Norse.
All right. So, anything else you guys have on the Bengals? Well, we did talk last week about Frank Pollock coming back and all that. I don't think there were any more. Was there another hire this week? I don't believe so.
No, but Mackenzie Allen got acquitted of all charges today.
Alexander is his last name, but good try.
That's what I meant to say. Mackenzie Alexander. So that's good.
Great. Another defensive back going through criminal charges that they are acquitted from. Good job.
Solid. Dave Lapham also says he doesn't trust that we're going to get a good offensive lineman this year. So
that doesn't feel good because he's usually spot on.
Yes, he is.
I think. So I guess let's bring that up. Before
we're going to open the window on this.
Let's bring that up. So
speaking of opening windows,
are you going to do the full Dave Lapham quote, or are you just
no? Because they're not paying for an advertising spot,
good
so
call.
I'm not.
Good call. So I ran my very first season of Madden this past week as the Bengals and had imported the draft class. Several Bearcats were drafted in Hudson. He was a 5th rounder, I believe. Wiggins was drafted in the 6th round, I think. James Wiggins. And I believe James Smith was taken in the 7th round. I ended up signing both Jared Dokes and I signed Derek Forrest.
Who are you playing as?
The Bengals.
Okay.
Yeah, got both of them. But I got the 2nd overall pick in my simulation-ish because I didn't play all the games. I did at least play the moments for all the games in the first season. But I ended up with the 2nd pick because I did start with all the current injuries. So Joe Burrow didn't play a single game, actually, in my entire first season. So ended up with Sewell as the number 2 pick overall. So do you think the Bengals are going to make some moves then for offensive line in the offseason prior to the draft? Is that something we do so that we can open up a potential Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, Lincoln cranking back up, as I think that we all know that AJ Green and the Bengals have seen their last days together.
I mean, I think they got to make some free agent moves for the offensive line. They're just gonna have to. I mean, you can't. Ed left.
He gone.
But I do think that you got to make some moves in the free agent market to try and get offensive line help. Maybe Pollock gives them, a little bit of a boost with some of the guys that they still have, but I don't think you can bank on.
I mean,
drafting an entire offensive line out in the draft. Like,
what's the? I mean, we know what Bobby Hart is at this point. I would think. What's the saying about a polished turd, right? I mean,
it doesn't get shiny.
Or the lipstick on a pig.
Right.
I mean, we know what we have in Bobby Hart at this point. He played under Pollock already once, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was here 2 seasons ago when Pollock was here. I think that was his first season here.
Yeah, but did he play a lot?
He's been a starter since he's been here for reasons that are unbeknownst to
anyone,
every football fan across America. But no, I think if you can make a signing, a splash for a tackle, maybe take a guard in the first or second day of the draft, as opposed to signing a guard, because the Bengals don't like to spend money in signing a guard. Otherwise, they would have kept Eric Steinbach. They would have
Andrew Whitworth.
Kevin. Well, that's a tackle, but Kevin Zeitler, Eric Steinbach.
I just thought you were going offensive line.
No, I was just going with guards. So we didn't spend money on Zeitler. We didn't spend money on Steinbach. They don't like to spend money on guards, so I can't see them making a huge free agent splash on a guard. That said, I wouldn't be surprised if they did try to bring a tackle in, even though. I mean, I understood where they were going and the reasoning why they didn't sign Whitworth back at that point in time, as who would have seen him bouncing back from a PCL and MCL tear in 2 weeks?
And continuing to be just as dominant.
I don't understand that. I think the dude's on juice, or he actually had a clone ready to start. These are hot takes that are completely reckless and have nothing behind them. That said, how do you explain it?
Part of a lion.
I think it's the Cajun food from LSU.
Eye of the tiger.
I hate you.
We're down here in the bayou. We got on kind of occasionally.
Oh, all right.
Ed's back.
That was Ed, straight from the bayou. He apparently ate some gumbo. It didn't agree with him, so he had to leave. But he did come back with an accent.
No, I quit drinking pop today, so I've been drinking a ton of water, and I definitely had to go.
Congratulations, you did it.
Thank you.
Well done.
Water and green tea.
I give you until summer before you're back on Mountain Dew again.
Oh, yeah. I haven't drank Mountain Dew in 4 months.
I give you until summer until you're back on Mountain Dew again. Back when, we'll save that question.
Unjustifiably in a position that I'd rather not be in.
Yep, that sounds like the soundtrack of your life right now.
Dang gone.
All right.
But I do think it's going to be Jamar Chase that they end up taking there.
I would.
If they don't make some moves around, because Sewell's not going to be there.
I mean, let's think about this for at least the next 5, if not next decade. Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. I don't know who, and Tyler Boyd.
It sounds like a solid lineup.
Who's your odd man out?
As long as they put a halfway decent line in front of Burrow, otherwise
if not, he's just gonna flick it.
Otherwise, he's gonna spend the next 10 years on his back.
Not in a fun way.
No, not at all.
All right. So I think we're moving on to rounding third.
Oh, I wasn't totally not ready for this time, but here we go.
I don't know if there was supposed to be any words that I was supposed to be saying over that, like rounding, third, rounding, third.
No, and the slider completely jumped down on me. So the transition.
Aw,
I'm working on this, guys. I'm working on this. We're gonna get some more production in this show. I swear.
be better, Ed.
I'm gonna be better. This is gonna be. We're getting number 2 this year on City Beat. I swear.
All right. So, and you guys want to give it a go?
I'll give it a go. This one is one that I thought of earlier this week and had to write down right away. And it might be a good discussion topic. Who's your favorite Mighty Duck? Right? Like, it's definitely not Banks, because Banks was a hawk.
It's not Banks.
No.
What's his name? Fulcher?
See, I thought he was a solid one as well, because, I mean, he was part of the Bash Brothers, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I would say the Bash Brothers are my 2 favorite.
I think Fulcher would be my number 1. I didn't love the other Bash brother. I can't remember his name.
I just want to say, are you talking about Fulton Reed?
Yeah.
Yes.
Fulton Reed.
Fulton. I said Fulcher. You're right.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
I combined them. I did a Luckell.
A Luckell. I'm glad you said that, because I was trying to remember what it was I said.
I think the Knuckle Puck Kid would probably be my number 2.
Oh, really? So you're talking Keenan Thompson, Russ Taylor.
I mean, for so many reasons, it would be Keenan Thompson.
Oh, Dean Portman. That was the other Bash brother, wasn't it?
Of course his
Yeah.
name is Dean. He looked like a Dean.
His real name is Aaron, so I have no idea what you mean to say about that.
More like a Dean than a me.
God.
Yeah, all right. Well, just always remember, Adam Banks was a hawk.
Also, the goalie is apparently having huge drug issues
Oh,
Goldberg,
in real life.
Sean Weiss.
Yep.
Yeah, he's in rough shape.
You talking about, or are you talking about Connie? Nope. All right.
What?
Connie was the other goalie, wasn't she?
Why would I? No, I wouldn't be talking about her.
Oh, no, it was Julie.
Julie the Cat Gaffney.
Yeah, Julie the Cat. No, Julie the Cat was the other goalie. Yeah, Connie was the figure skater.
Weird flex, but okay.
Hey, love the Mighty Ducks.
I guess. Or you have the entire IMDb pulled up right now.
I don't.
I don't. I just recently
can.
watched it. I just recently watched it with my kids. That's why I thought of the question.
You know what character I didn't like?
Adam Banks.
Les Averman.
Which one was the kid talking about? When the tumbleweeds are blowing and the
When the roosters are crowing and the cows are spinning circles in the pasture.
yeah, no,
Ducks fly together.
no. Didn't like that one.
Okay, so that was my question. Who was?
I mean, the Mighty Ducks movies are great. They really isn't. I think they're making like a TV series now.
Oh, what? No, they can't. It's not good.
Like with some of the cast coming back as adults.
I hope not.
I think it's scheduled for Disney Plus.
I'd watch a remake of Air Bud before I would watch that, especially after what Fuller House did to us.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Girl Meets World wasn't any better.
Yeah.
Disney Plus announces the Mighty Ducks series with Emilio Estevez and Lauren Graham.
Except Topanga.
Hey.
Bombay was a hawk too, though, if you remember.
So, what is your favorite TikTok trend? Because for me, I can't stop watching what videos live in your mind rent free.
Oh, those are awesome.
I can't not watch.
Wait a minute.
If I see that girl pop up, I cannot not watch whatever video is coming up next. even if it sucks. Like I still go to the very end waiting for the punchline.
Yeah.
This is the
Sometimes it
gentleman who
delivers,
said he
sometimes
doesn't have TikTok before we even started recording this, and all of a sudden he
no. I
knows.
said you don't.
No, Jeff.
No, Ed, I said I don't
He
post
said
videos.
he doesn't.
Oh, that's right.
He
That's
doesn't,
right.
he doesn't tick the talk, but he TikToks.
We're gonna get TikTok.
So you didn't answer my question at all.
Though I'll tell you the one that I cannot stand right now is tell me that you're a Bengals fan without actually telling me that you're a Bengals fan. I'm so over that. It's everything now.
Tell me you're a blank. Tell me you're a blank without telling me you're a. Yeah.
It's everywhere.
But the rent-free videos I cannot not watch.
Those are good.
True.
I don't like the girl. She's on every last nerve I have, but as soon as I see her, I know that I'm in. I'm in for that full minute.
TikTok will just drain all of your time.
I'm not going to talk about how many hours I've spent on TikTok.
I mean, it's horrible.
If I look at my screen time, it's embarrassing.
Yeah, I turned it off.
I get lost.
I turned screen time off. I don't need to know. I just don't.
I get lost in woodworking TikTok.
Oh, I do get lost in there too. I get lost in cooking TikTok.
See, there's an end game to that. I'm so deep in conspiracy talk, I don't even want to talk about it.
That's fair. And then I get super excited every time I see somebody from Ohio or Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Like, wait.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I don't know what my favorite trend is right now, but I just know that is not my favorite trend right now.
I know it's not like a.
It's okay
not
that you can't admit your thirst trap trend that you love.
The thirst trap.
Where they're swaying their. The thirst trap is where they're wearing as little clothing as possible, but still being TikTok eligible.
I scroll past those.
Okay.
Good cover, Ed.
I scroll past them.
I like when Gordon Ramsay like reviews when he reviews
the stitches.
Yeah, when he reviews like somebody else's.
What are you doing?
He's like,
That's not what you do to a steak. That's not what you do to a steak.
Like he did one. He did one the other day. This guy had like a belt on that had like different spices and beers in like his belt, like a holster.
That's the Cajun dude. I've watched his
Yeah.
cooking videos before.
Yeah, I could sit there and like.
I don't know if the mullet that's under that hat for that guy is real or not.
I like the cooking. I like the cooking ones and the woodworking ones. Like those are really cool.
Like apparently you can make a perfect circle with a table saw.
Who'd have known?
Not me.
Thanks, TikTok.
You're up, Jeff.
All right, this question comes to us from my 7-year-old son.
Oh, this is a good question.
I'm so happy right now.
This is going to be about Star Wars, and I'm not going to know anything about it.
Not even close.
Okay, good.
So he randomly he has when COVID started, Facebook Messenger Kids.
Yeah.
Became this thing, right? So like kids could stay in contact. They can like video chat with each other and that kind of thing.
Adults that are approved.
Yes.
Like aunts and uncles and what
So
have you.
he sends me he'll occasionally send me messages on Facebook Messenger from his iPad that are like, guess this drawing or whatever. But he
Those
sent
are
me
the best
like
with kids.
Yeah. So like, I'm all about it. So he sends me one the other day. Like he's currently quarantined. No positive test. He has no symptoms. He's just it's
Contact
rules and regulations. Anyway, so he's sending me a lot the other day, and he said, "Dad, would you rather speak 2 languages or be able to speak to sharks?"
Wow. I would talk to sharks 100%.
I think I would talk to sharks too.
A, no one else can.
Aquaman.
B, Aquaman, get out of here. I don't even recognize DC as real. I'm all
True.
Marvel all day. That's fine. I'm just dropping hot takes everywhere tonight. Just
Ed's lost.
getting rid of half of my audience right now. Yeah, sharks all day for me. Plus, I want to know what's going down at the bottom of the ocean.
Yep.
Tell me all the secrets. We don't know anything about the ocean. Tell me about the ocean shark.
Does Ariel live down there?
Tell me about the ocean shark.
No, that's actually when you asked me that question, like, okay, what do I want to learn from a shark? And that was the first thing I thought of, like, how deep is the ocean? What is down there? And what kind of animals have we not seen yet?
What?
Also, are aliens in the ocean and not up in space?
They're being declassified. Conspiracy Talk told me so.
Because apparently the UFO that was seen like 3 weeks ago went boop into the ocean, gone. Now the world is round, no matter what Kyrie Irving says.
Also, shark, who's stopping you from going to Antarctica? Because we're not allowed, per the only agreement that any of the countries can all get together and unite on. So, what's going on in Antarctica, shark? I'm all in on this shark thing.
Like you're.
I'm all in.
This entire thing reminds me of Adam Sandler and the Penguin. So, Billy Madison.
It's too hot out here for a penguin. Penguins are supposed to be in the zoo. Oh, I see what's going on here. So excuse me.
That was a terrible impression.
That last part sucked, but the rest of it was good. Yeah. Touche.
That was the best. Your whole limited impression should have just been that.
That was good.
My mama said.
No. Now you ruined it again.
Sorry. I guess it's my turn.
Drop the mic. Yes.
Another popular topic right now. What is your go-to Girl Scout cookie?
What is it? The Samoans? Is that what they're
Samoans? Yeah.
Those
are pretty good.
The
Samoas.
Coconut. How has that not been canceled in cancel culture? Just
they're
saying.
delicious. I put them in the freezer.
But the coconut, caramel, chocolate, delicious. Yeah.
I don't like coconut.
That's my jam. I don't like coconut
coconut
either.
water.
I hate coconut.
When you cover that shit in caramel and chocolate, I'm all in.
Oh, eat it.
I put it in the freezer and it has a satisfying snap.
My man. I do the same thing with the peanut butter ones.
Yes. The tagalongs.
Yes.
The tagalongs. I like the s'mores as well.
Throw those in the freezer. The Thin Mints too can very well go in the freezer.
The s'mores remind me of elf cookies. And by the way, are those still around?
The s'mores cookies?
The elf cookies.
Elf? What? Tell me what you mean about elf.
The Keebler elf cookies?
Right.
Where it's like in the shape of the Keebler elves with the chocolate in the middle?
That is a little different than just calling elf cookies.
You didn't call them elf cookies. Okay, that's fine.
Elves are offended.
I apologize to all elves out there. Yep. It's two apologies.
What was your favorite, Jeff?
Mine?
Was it also the Samoas?
Samoas.
Okay.
All day long.
So,
Fair.
what is the first thing that you're going to do when...
And I think Thin Mints are overrated, so go ahead.
What is the first thing you're going to do when social distancing is over, if it ever is?
I'm going to go to a bar to watch a big game and high-five random people.
Yeah, that's fair.
I can't wait to high-five people at Nipper again.
Yeah.
Along the same lines.
Like
fair enough.
Thing. I mean, or tailgate, just stopping in at random parties and drinking beers with other people, potentially from the same cup because you're playing a flip cup game or something thereof.
I'm
actually miss people so bad.
I'm an extrovert. I don't know if anybody knows that or not.
Same.
So this is like, it's been real hard. I think we brought that up a few podcasts ago, but like, it is just awful for me.
What are you gonna do, Ed?
I mean, that's a. I wouldn't watching a ball game like
I was gonna say,
basketball, football, like at a bar with people would be great.
you don't traditionally go
Go,
to bars to watch games, so that's not really your jam.
I will though.
I will just because lockdown's over and I can.
Because now I want to, and also going to a brewery again would be freaking awesome because I miss like a flight of beers. Like I'll go out and support the local breweries by picking up like.
Still do that.
Yeah, but
It's not the same.
it's not the same. There's not a lot of people around. I can't get sloppy. I can't try to fight somebody.
You don't often get sloppy anyway. Get out of here.
I'm not as good as I
When you
was.
do, I generally end up with, "Hey, Aaron, old Ed's back. Talk me out of this."
No, that's Michelle calling you and telling you to talk me out of it.
You've texted me also, unless that's her texting me from your phone.
Possibility. Also, I have tickets for the Garth Brooks concert in May, and
He might be canceled by then.
yeah, that's a good point.
His entire supporting community is very upset with him right now.
I'm not. It's fine. I don't. He's a musician. All right, musician.
You're struggling with that word. Maybe drink another one.
Musician.
You made him a magician just now.
Yes, you did. Abracadabra.
Just like Luckell.
Luckell. God, we have gone off the rails.
I have not had caffeine except for green tea all day.
He has had alcohol though. Moving on.
All right. 50 degrees. Too cold to wear shorts or too warm to wear pants?
I wore shorts today, and it was.
I wore shorts today too.
39.
I wore shorts on Saturday. I wore shorts on Sunday. Aaron's going to show us leg. We're going to get banned from YouTube now.
Wearing shorts. Had them on all day.
When I go outside, my neighbor asks, or neighbor says, "I can't believe you don't have shorts on," because I'm constantly wearing shorts.
What you should say is, "I can't believe you didn't realize I was a big fella."
He always calls me big fella.
I didn't know that, but that just plays that much more into the joke.
Do you remember the ice cream man that used to call us big guy?
Nope.
You don't remember that?
Nope.
You may have been in college.
All right, Ed.
Was it my turn?
Yeah, we answered that question pretty quick.
Damn. I forgot to come up with a third one.
Off
Can
the top
you
of your
guys
head, go?
Can you
Off the
guys
top of your
go?
head, go.
All right, so do you buy memorabilia from games that your team lost? So say like the Reds memorabilia from the dropped series against the Giants, or the Peach Bowl, or the Orange Bowl, or the Sugar Bowl for the Bearcats, or something of that nature.
What do you mean by like? Do you mean like game used stuff, or do you mean like a shirt that says like
whatever the case may be? Like, because if you have it and somebody, even if it's like a conversation piece, like a game worn or something, you're still gonna have to talk about it. Like, oh yeah, that was from the game that they lost, but I had to have it because I'm a fan, and this one was actually cheap because they lost. Like, do you buy memorabilia from that kind of stuff?
no?
I actually have, and so there's a reason why I bought this, but I do have a lineup card from the Cardinals bullpen or dugout, and we lost that game. But the only reason why I bought it is because it was Parker and Bryce's first game.
I bought for $5 today a Peach Bowl T-shirt at Costco.
They're already marked down to $5, huh?
Yep, at Costco. That is a steal of a deal. They had them in both colors, but they did not have my size. Large is apparently is all sold out in the black, but the gray was a thing. Of course, I'm going to cut the sleeves off of it and it just be a summer shirt because I'm not going to just proudly wear that we were in the Peach Bowl, but we lost right at the end. Like, I'm not trying to do that, but I have no problem buying it for $5.
No, I mean, I guess for $5, like
It'd
be a good workout shirt.
Shirts. Exactly.
I think that's the only thing I've ever bought from that I know was from a losing game. Except, I mean, unless you count those Bearcat Jam shorts, but I bought those because they were cool.
If it had been any more than $5, I would not have bought it. I will say that.
That's fair. I mean, okay, I did buy a poster from the '92, but I had all the players sign it from the '92 Final Four season.
That was from the season, though, not from like.
Yeah,
Yeah, that doesn't count.
that was a
like
good season.
It wasn't like a guide or anything from going to the game that you had.
No, and the game used Cincinnati Royal tickets I have over there from a winning game. Yeah, I think it's the only thing I have.
I'm just curious. All right, Jeff. Ed's still thinking because he did not take any of that time to think about
malt or shake.
Ooh, shake.
I can't do a malt because it's like you're drinking powder, like powdered milk.
Oh,
shake all the way.
I think it depends on the flavor.
And what if it's a shake? I mean, I have a go-to peanut butter and chip.
Peanut butter chip.
You can hear him. You can hear him processing this.
It's peanut butter and chip.
Where are you getting your ice cream from?
UDF. It's peanut butter and chip.
I could have guessed that before. As soon as you said malt, where else can you get a malt?
Graders?
Can you?
It's just,
I don't know.
They got to put malt base in there, and that's just gross. It's powder. Whoa.
I don't know. I think that there's something about a chocolate malt that's not bad. But I'll tell you, if I'm getting a vanilla, I'm not getting a vanilla malt.
No.
So I think it depends on the flavor. And if I'm getting like a berry of some sort or a fruit, if you will, like, I mean, I think you could even venture out to like peach or whatever the other flavors may be. I'm not even asking for, or if that's even available.
You have to stay in like peanut butter, vanilla, chocolate variant.
You're not the boss of me.
Don't start putting. Do you remember Don't Fruit the Beer? Don't fruit the shake.
I love a good blueberry beer. A good pumpkin beer. Little balls of blue. How about that?
Yeah, it's a blueberry sour. It's delicious.
You hurt his heart. Look at his face.
What don't you like it?
Don't fruit the beer.
A good pumpkin beer during the holiday season?
It's pretty good. Also, if you haven't tried
Pumpkin is gross, by the way. Pumpkin pie, trash.
Hot takes aplenty this episode, ladies and gentlemen.
Shut up!
Hot pumpkin coffee, gross.
Don't know what just happened.
Pumpkin anything,
All right,
nasty.
So, Ed, do you have a question now that we filibustered here with all of our?
I do.
Takes?
I'm gonna save this segment from that no fruit the beer thing, and I'm gonna ask you what you're going to a snow cone place, right?
Here we go.
What flavor?
I don't care as long as it's blue. I love blue everything.
You love the blue. You love blueberry ice cream out at Kings Island.
Who doesn't?
Who
love
doesn't?
Blueberry ice cream at Kings Island. If you don't, you don't have a soul.
We gotta throw Andy Dalton underneath the bus like that.
It's the freckles. He stole them.
Little bitty souls. He's been waiting all night to use that for something.
100%.
Second time I got to use it.
But yeah, blue anything. So blue raspberry or like bomb pop, or I do the same thing with my vape juice. So judge me if you will.
I mean, as long as it's like 90 plus degrees outside, could really care less what the flavor is.
Tiger.
Did you say tiger blood?
Tiger blood
From the Kona ice truck?
No, from
I'll be getting
Sheen.
tiger blood from some snow cone places since I was probably like 8 years old. Some place in Delhi.
Him
Don't
and
know.
Charlie Sheen, they drink tiger blood.
Yeah, because we're just,
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
welcome.
I didn't even know you had that. That was well played. Well done.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank you.
so proud of you.
Thank you.
Production value plus 10.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good.
Don't go that high, but that was,
Oh.
that was good.
Oh man.
Mostly because out of nowhere he told you to shut up, bitch. And
I know. That was really rude.
So uncalled for.
Shut up, bitch!
So uncalled for.
I'm gonna get a whole bunch of sounds on my soundboard, Ed, and then
My nephews aren't allowed to listen to our podcast anymore now. Way to go.
Sorry about that.
Now we're just
Yeah, can we move on? Let's
we're
bum up-
DMCA'd all day long.
rocking the Casbah. All right, so does anybody have any more questions? I think that we've completely done with this segment. Moving on, it's time for the bum of the week.
Cause you're training like a damn bum, you know that? Bum. A bum.
You're a bum. And that's all you'll ever be. A bum.
Well, that hurts, man.
Okay, so I know you've been excited about this one, Jeff. You've been very excited about this one. Who's your bum of the week?
My bum of the week is Jared Porter, who I have dubbed as Dollar Store Ed.
Because he's cheap, or
No, just because
he's a poor
I mean
man?
he looks like Dollar Store Ed. Like if you were to go to the dollar store to pick up like a cheap version of Ed,
So
that's what he would look like. Not
Ed-
in his
Ed is-
actions in any way.
If you
Because
ordered
that
me off of
guy, what?
Like if
What
you
is-
ordered me off of Wish.com, this is what you
Yeah,
were
like if I like I see like this I see Ed on Wish.com and I'm like, oh, that guy looks like he'd be fun to hang out with, and I ordered it. Jared Porter would show up and I
so Ed is a
jettison him.
So Ed is a poor man's Jared, or Jared is a poor man's Ed?
Oh shit.
Jared Porter is trash, and that's not even a hot take
That's not a hot take, just
because
that's
it's
the
all
take.
over Twitter. He's a pathetic excuse for a human being,
He's also fired and jobless.
and as he should be. Yeah, like here's the deal. Like for one, you send 62 text messages to somebody, and you're like,
They go
who
on
knows what the contents of those were? Because I don't think they've been released. It was likely him saying like, hey, you want to go on a date? Hey, I think you're cute. Hey, here's my phone
Hey,
number. Call me
hi.
back.
Hey,
Hi, I'm Jared
hi.
Porter. Haha.
Hey,
And
you haven't responded yet. You still there?
you're right. Yeah.
Are you ignoring me?
Oh, are you just taking a shower? Like, what are you sending 62 times that there's no messages coming back that you think is important enough? And then you top it off by going, I got it. I know what she wants to see. And then you take a picture of little Jared Porter and say, check that out. How do you feel about that?
I was wondering how it's gonna
No
get through.
one wants it. I can't. I don't know what.
Did this man not learn from Brett Favre?
And he's not as famous as Brett Favre. He's not, like Brett.
Using the eye test at just looking at a human compared to another human, he also doesn't look to be as
And not that what Brett Favre did was acceptable either, but
I was just gonna say
Wasn't
he
there-
doesn't look as gifted just using the
Wasn't
eye
it-
test.
Wasn't there another guy from New York that did that, like an Anthony Weiner or something
I
like
mean-
that?
Well, I'm not even getting into that one. Jesus
oh,
God.
oh
Moving
god,
on.
yeah. But so Jared Porter, bum of the week. You know, if a girl doesn't respond to your text message 62 times, the answer is not sending her a picture of your manhood. It is simply to move on and maybe try and find a different girl.
I heard Dick Williams was going to take that job.
I just feel like there's a joke there. So my bum of the week is
It's
actually
so proud of himself.
my bum of the week is actually It happens after tomorrow. And that is Donald Trump, if he doesn't pardon the Tiger King
You mother.
and Lil Wayne.
I did see that he's gonna have like that. He has like
He has a limo
stack.
wait. He has a limo waiting
like-
for him already.
There's a
at the
stretch
jail.
limousine truck.
He's gonna like the pardons that he's gonna throw out are
He
gonna.
has a beauty team ready to take him from the jail to get ready to back being Joe Exotic,
I think Netflix is there, ready to start recording.
as they should be. The content is waiting to produce itself. Is that yours? Did you also have that?
It was mine, but I did have a backup, so you're good.
Yeah, because I did not have a backup.
So okay, all right, all right. So then, I agree with you. He is a bum, not because of his political things, because if he does not pardon Joe Exotic,
That's the only reason. It has nothing to do with any of the politics. This is a sports show, not a politics show. We aren't talking about the politics. However,
I just need
if he
Joe Exotic.
doesn't pardon, that's the reason.
And then he should, and then Joe Exotic should run as his vice president in 2024. But anyways, to my bum of the week.
The word is murderer, Bill. Murderer, not murder. Murder is an action, not a noun.
Do we get a message?
We've had a couple.
Oh, didn't see the video live. So then my backup bum of the week is Jamie Lynn Spears. That would be Britney Spears' sister. We all know Britney Spears from the drop I made earlier. Britney Spears is calling Elon Musk a secret cat killer.
Listen, if
You might be
clarified.
You might be saying, well, maybe she lives next door to Elon Musk and her cats were getting in Elon's pool and he shot them with a pellet gun. No, that's not why. She's calling him a secret cat killer because apparently his cars are so quiet that her cats don't hear them coming down the street and get ran over.
She said she didn't. She said specifically that the cats weren't run over by the Teslas.
That's not what this story says.
Well, then maybe she lied in the one. I don't know. But
if you want to call Elon Musk a secret reptile living in a human skin, I would have accepted that. I've been all over conspiracy talk. I know what we're talking about. But
He's an alien.
A cat killer is I don't know that that's a thing that you accuse him of.
He's an alien. We know that. But
what about Bill's message?
Ashley Simpson has a better voice than Jessica Simpson.
She lip syncs.
I don't know.
That's what Ed's gonna do when he starts our TikTok page.
Lip sync. Can't wait.
No, I might do a dance.
You can actually use the artist's music at that point.
That's fair. But yeah, that was my bum of the week.
All right. Well, we have been through the ringer this episode. We need sports to come back in the city of Cincinnati in some way, shape, or form. In basketball, football,
Reds, do something,
baseball.
please.
Good Lord, give us some news. The best news we had this week was Jim Tressel's nephew.
And that Luis Castillo got traded but didn't get traded.
He never got traded.
Really, all that brought up was the fact that the Reds front office is in fact still alive, so that's good.
And Spanish and American people could coexist.
Yeah, the translations. That was my.
It was so nice though, the way that
somebody was like, I don't understand it, and I think it was the guy that like tweeted it out. Was like, oh, let me help you out. This is what it says.
He was so polite.
Pal.
Yeah, it was so.
Here's what I got for you.
I wanted to be his friend, and I wanted to help each other learn.
He's like, I understand. You don't understand my language, so I will help you.
He was fluent in our language already, so I couldn't help him any. So I had nothing in that barter.
No, but I enjoyed the interaction.
I loved it.
And I don't.
That's all I got.
All right. So for that, it's been another week. We hope to see you back next week with maybe a little more to talk about in some way, shape, or form outside of just filibustering our way through an entire episode. But for Ed and Jeff, I'm Aaron, and we're out.
Yeah.